Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott's Selections here for Saturday, December 19th. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up splitting for the second straight day as we ended up losing the college football play with Buffalo minus 13 and minus 109 on DraftKings. They lost the game outright. Pretty pathetic performance by them. But Buffalo has been known to choke conference title games in the past, so unfortunately that trend continued, and Ball State ended up winning the conference title. But we ended up winning the college basketball plays. We gave out Drake minus 5.5 against South Dakota, and they ended up winning that game by double digits. They were up 10 at the half. Coasted, won by double digits, and it was really just a no-sweat winner. So a nice college basketball winner for us. We split, though, which is pretty unfortunate. We'll be looking for a winning day here on Saturday. Now, I know that I already gave out the 3 college football plays in the joint video with Scott Steen. For the UFC, I thought about doing a video, but I really looked at the entire card, and I realized I'd rather watch the fights than bet on them this week because I think there are a couple of lines that are very sharp. So for that reason, I'm not going to touch it. If you're looking for a UFC play or a UFC video, sorry to disappoint you, but you are not going to get one from me. But looking at today's card, we're going to be looking at a college basketball matchup here, and it's going to be on the American East in a conference we haven't talked about so far this season. It's going to be between UMBC and Albany. We're going to be taking the road favorite here with UMBC minus 3. It's available on BetOnline at minus 115, a time recording of 2:01 a.m. Eastern Time. And a couple reasons why I like UMBC in this spot, laying the points. First of all, UMBC has been very sharp so far this season. They are 4-1. Each of their wins have been pretty decisive as they've won each of their first 4 games by 11 points, and their only loss came at Georgetown by 8 points. They have been competitive. Now, looking at who they've played so far this season, it is a relatively weaker schedule. I do acknowledge that, but I'm also going to admit that the American East isn't exactly a powerhouse conference by any means. They beat St. Francis PA by 15, beat George Washington by 11, beat Delaware by 15, and they also beat Coppin State on the road in their last game by 17 points. They've been cruising lately, and now they face an Albany team that used to be the powerhouse of the conference, but has had some struggles over the last couple of years. But looking at UMBC briefly, just to go through what's going on with them, they have a lot of experience. They bring back 4 starters from last year's team. They also have a ton of scoring depth. We talked about that yesterday with Drake, talking about how they have a ton of potential sources of offense. And UMBC is currently have 5 players that are averaging at least 10.4 points per game. So they have a ton of scoring depth, and I do think that will be a problem for Albany's defense to deal with. But talking about Albany, most teams so far this season that have had a COVID issue have had one, which has caused them to miss about 2 weeks or so. Albany's had 2 separate COVID outbreaks, which explains why Albany has not played a single game this season. They were supposed to play against Marist at the end of November. That game got canceled because they had to cancel about 3 weeks of practice leading up to the game because of COVID. So they canceled that. Then after that game got canceled, the beginning of December, they had another COVID outbreak, which caused them to miss practice for about a week or so, and now they are back. So this will be the first game that Albany has played this season. And the reason why that's important is because of the fact that, of course, UMBC is going to have more chemistry because they've actually played with each other for 5 games. But looking at Albany, they lost their leading scorer from last year's team. They do bring back 3 stars, which is important, but they also have 4 transfers that they added to the roster. So the team is supposed to be pretty good by season's end. The issue, though, is that with all the new transfers and all the new faces, you lost about a month straight of practice. And I do think that's a serious problem, considering the fact that you have to face a team that's been cruising so far this season, and you have a lot of new faces with very, very little practice time and no game action. So I think Albany might come out a little bit slow offensively in the first game of the season. They might pick it up later on in conference play, but in this spot, I can't back Albany because they haven't played at all, and they have a bunch of pieces that I think might take some time to actually gel properly together. Meanwhile, UMBC has all the chemistry in the world. They've been clicking. They have 5 scores in double digits. And I think that UMBC will end up playing probably around 4 or 5 in this matchup because I really just don't see where the Albany money is going to come in from when they are such a potential risk of laying a massive egg in their season opener. So for that reason, the play today here for college basketball on Saturday, December 19th is going to be on UMBC minus the 3 at minus 115 on BetOnline. That's been some of Scott's selections. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.